Season 2 of Westworld is bound to be as thrilling and mind-bending as the first one.
If you're going along for the ride, please stay right here because we have a refresher for you on everything Season 1.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
Westworld has a ton of characters, but there are a few main ones that we really need to recap. Starting off with the creators of the world themselves, Ford and Arnold. They created this AI theme park.
Welcome to Westworld.
We have Dolores, who's the oldest host, the oldest robot in the park, and she spends a lot of time with the head programmer of the park, who is Bernard.
And you haven't told anyone about our little talks.
And we also have Maeve, who seems to understand that she is a robot throughout Season 1.
Or rather, whatever it is we are.
And then, of course, we have these players who are humans from the outside world who are coming in to play a game. We have Logan and William, who are always together in the park. And then we have the mysterious antagonist of Season 1, the Man in Black.
Winning doesn't mean anything unless someone else loses.
So to really understand the characters of Westworld, you're gonna wanna understand that you're looking at multiple timelines here. There's before Westworld, there's early Westworld, and there is about 30 years into the future. You can kind of stay with it through Dolores' storyline. She kind of integrates throughout. The first one in before Westworld, you're gonna see these conversations.
But there's something different about you.
Bernard is not spending any time with Dolores at all. That's actually Arnold in the past sitting with Dolores. Bernard is actually a host, a robot himself, who Ford designed after the co-creator of the park, Arnold. I know, mind blown, take a second, deep breaths.
After that, you're gonna have kind of what we look at as early days of Westworld. You're gonna have William and Dolores going on adventures. William gets introduced to the park for the first time.
William is very mysterious himself, but he's a player in the park who Dolores ends up falling in love with. They have a really romantic relationship.
I know you have someone waiting for you at home.
Oh, that feels so unreal now.
After that, 30 years ahead in Westworld. And 30 years ahead in Westworld, this is when everything comes to a head.
You find out through the multiple timelines that William ends up growing up to be the #1 antagonist, villain of Westworld, the Man in Black.
That's right, sweetheart.
Coming back to the park year after year, the Man in Black, aka William, has seen it all. He's seen every asset of this park, every game you could possibly play within the park, except for one. We gotta talk about the maze.
Where is the center of the maze?
The Man in Black thinks the maze is this other level of the game.
A new level, a new thrill that he can experience in this park, which he knows pretty much inside and out.
But really, it's not meant for him at all. The maze is really a game designed by Arnold in order for the host to find consciousness.
He created a test of empathy, imagination, a maze.
We understand the concept of this maze through the conversations Dolores has with her good friend Bernard.
I find it fascinating, but others may not see it that way.
It's like every decision they make can kind of get them closer to consciousness or further away. And in the end, you see Dolores hearing her own voice, making her own decisions because she technically solved the maze.
Because this world doesn't belong to you.
In case you're wondering if I'm all here,
I am.
One character who's kind of stumbled into this game of the maze is the host Maeve, who started off as the head of a brothel in Westworld and who suddenly just started waking up on her own, discovering her own thoughts, and kind of doing exactly what Arnold was telling Dolores, or so we think, because at the end of Westworld Season 1, we discover that Ford kind of programmed Maeve to revolt and do all these things that we think she was doing consciously.
These are my decisions. No one else's.
Through Maeve's story, you kind of start to question, how much control does Ford have?
So through Dolores' decision to execute Ford in the finale, we come to realize that there are so many things we don't know. Did Dolores consciously decide to kill Ford? Did Ford program her like he's programmed other hosts to kill him? Who is Ford? We kind of thought that he was a bad guy, but then we come to understand that in the finale that maybe he's not as bad as we thought. He is having these robots revolt, which is what we wanted to see, or what Arnold wanted to see. So Ford's kind of understanding that maybe this park isn't ethical and maybe we should have the robots kind of take over, which we'll see in Season 2.
Will the hosts win? Will the humans win? Who is a robot even? Is everyone a robot? Who even knows?
These violent delights have violent ends.
The crazy thing about Westworld is one episode, one twist, everything can change in a second, which is why I'm gonna be watching season 2.